OK, well, talking of praise, what about Victor Gyökeres, a goal and an assist?
Phenomenal.
He has had his critics.
Yes.
This must at least help get them off his back.
Yeah, look, strikers, it's one of the toughest jobs in the team, and you're judged on goals. And he was a big money signing. We know how well he did when he was playing for Coventry at a lower level, and he's obviously gone off and made his name then again.
Sporting was brilliant.
Yeah, Sporting in Portugal. He's a good player. They could be a terrific player. And I think the biggest advantage for Arsenal is the amount of attention he gets. And it leaves that space for your Sakas of the world to run into. Arsenal aren't driven by, and we've always said this, they need to have a Golden Boot winner. They need someone with 30, 40 goals. Well, the top of the league, they were phenomenal last night. They look unbeatable. They got a superb defence, and they haven't got a prolific striker yet, and it's not stopping them. So I think he's growing into the role. He's got 8 goals. It's not prolific, but I think you asked me the question, is he kind of a hit or a bust? He's like that on the way up. There is a player in there, and I think he's a confidence player. And you'd like to think, late in the season, tired defences, I think he'll score a lot of goals.
Well, he definitely is doing things to help the team, all right?
100%.
We've got a graphic we can show you here. I'll have to explain it, all right, because it is quite difficult to word this graphic, OK? But what that means there, in simple English, is that he is the most tightly marked player in the Premier League this season. That's probably the best way I can put it, all right? So if he's doing that and Arsenal are winning every game, surely he is doing his job. And the way he set up Zubimendi, you can see how tightly marked he was, and he's still...
Technically, great pass, the space. When you get players like that in your team, yes, you love a striker who scores 20, 30, 40 goals. But at the end of the day, if he's taking that attention away, and Arsenal have got so much, attacking, goals in so many other areas, that's good for the team, it's good for business. It's why they are where they are. So, but in time you will see, and I said to you, February, March onwards, and people get tired and they've played a lot of games, I guarantee you he'll probably have a goal rush.
OK, well, I have been defending him a lot this season, so I was quite glad to see him do so well last night. I do hope for his sake that
do you know the biggest problem is? It's always about the value. If he was signed for 10 million quid, he'd be up there as like one of the signings of the season. He's got 8 goals, he's playing this role, he's like an unsung hero. The fact that you throw us at 50, 60, 70 million behind, it's a bit like Isak. Obviously, he's injuries, he's got 2 goals, he was the biggest signing in the summer. Straight away, if he doesn't win the Golden Boot, doesn't get 35 goals, he's going to be a bust. It's not always about that, is it? So, if they end up winning the double, title, Champions League, whatever else, and he ends up with 11, 12 goals, 6 assists, is anyone going to remember?
I think Arsenal fans will be happy with the title, certainly.
100%.
Here's a debate that's been going on for a long time when it comes to strikers.
Sure.
At the moment, most clubs, especially Arsenal included, will have a left footer on the right, a right footer on the left. OK? How much does that impact a striker? Because if you've got a left foot on the left and a right foot on the right, you look up, you straight away, you get the ball to the striker as quickly as you can. Cutting in onto your
the inversions
foot,
and everything else.
Yourself, you can lay it off.
Yeah, there has to be a lot more. There has to be a lot more patience for your number 9 when you're playing with strikers coming in all of the time instead of going out wide and putting the ball into the box. It really is down to style of play. It's also about, are you a possession-based team? Are you playing low-block teams? What kind of strike you are, your movements? Look, we can also argue the best in the world, the Ronaldos, the Messis, never had a problem scoring a goal a game. But you could also judge, well, they didn't play in the Premier League all the time. Ronaldo did through periods of his career. We have to give credit to people like Mo Salah, who's not a traditional number 9, and you look at his data and his record, and whilst he not always play the best player, he's always getting goals, he's always getting assists. It does come down to styles and formations, and that's why you see it. I still think an Eddie Howe way of playing is different to an Arteta way of playing, and I think the big fella they've got at Newcastle they bought will end up scoring a lot of goals based on the style of how Eddie Howe plays. And
they do tend to play a right footer on the right-hand side, in fairness.
Correct.
In depth on Chelsea at 11 o'clock, but just a quick one on Liam Rossini, first home game in charge. Did you see positive signs or reality check?
No, positive signs. Probably a bit of both. He's a big boy. He realised that, it's not going to be all perfect. He's not going to win every game and smash teams to bits. What he would have liked is the response from his team at going 2-0 down. You're playing the best team probably in England at the moment, and you're under pressure, and it's your first home game per se in a big event like the League Cup, and they could have been out of it. But they go now to the Emirates where they're only out of it by 1 goal. Chelsea's a good team. Under him, they're going to be a very good team. I like the style. I like the way they played. I like some of the younger players, and that was a baptism of fire for him, as well as his first Premier League game being his first Champions League game being. But as an advert for the product, it was a great game to watch last night. It was end-to-end. You could probably be a bit critical about goalkeepers, but the rest of the football was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a brilliant game. Sky Sports are partnered with Finalysis to discover true fan opinion. To have your say on your club. Download the Finalysis app, scan the QR code there for more details. Let's speak to Arsenal fan Toby Parks now. Good morning, Toby. First of all, let's start with Gyökeres. What did you think of his performance and what have you made of his season so far?
Morning, Tom. Morning, Dara. Yeah, good question. I mean, his physicality has always been his strength. We know that he's not a touch-tight Ekatike or someone like that that's going to be able to dribble around a player or anything like that. But being a bulldozer, being a physical player and dragging away players is something that really is his strength. What I would say is I think over the past few months, past couple of months since his injury, I think that's been weaning a little bit. And I do think that, I actually feel like a bit of a fool. I made a call in our weekly podcast that I think he should start getting confidence from the bench, coming off the bench now that Jesus and Havertz are back, but actually giving him that week off and him not playing against Portsmouth, his physicality was there in abundance last night, and he looked every bit the player I think we thought he could. There's still a few things obviously he could improve, and it's going to be about consistency. And what I would say is I think he's always worked really hard, and there's no fan that's upset with his work ethic or anything like that. I think there's a bit of a quality drop there in some scenarios that we know is there. It's just how we can get it out of him. So I felt a bit sorry for him. I think when he scored a goal, he almost looked a little bit shy going to fans to celebrate. You can see the other fans really try and make him part of the group and pushing him over like you're seeing on the screen now, actually. So I just hope he can really be part of that group and kick on.
It was nice to see him score. He also got an assist as well for Martin Zubimendi. This season, quite often on this show, we've asked who is the signing of the season. Can you make a case for Martin Zubimendi?
Definitely. There's so much great about him that I didn't expect. He's one of those players that, you get excited over the summer and you look on YouTube or whatever, and I think you don't quite know what you're going to get, and it's not really a highlight reel kind of player. When you sign these, deep sixes, deep playmakers from Spain, you expect a relatively fragile, very good with their feet, quick kind of feet player that's just going to pass the ball from left to right. And what's really surprised me is just how strong and almost front-footed he is in every scenario. And now that he's adding attacking elements to his game, the way he passes very quickly. We have players that can slow down the game when we need to slow down the tempo, and we have players that can speed it up. And Zubimendi is one of those that can do both. The way he can put balls over the top. I think there was a finish, I can't remember, it was one of the best goals of the season, the volley from outside the box off the corner. I think it was against Forest. I can't remember, but he's adding so much to his game. And last night, he was just electric, and off his left foot in so many different scenarios too. It's going both ways, which is something that, again, I just did not expect from him, and I always get surprised every game.
I'm shocked at how well he settled, how quickly he settled in the Premier League, because usually there's maybe a 3 or 4 month bedding in period and they're in and out and whatever else, but he is truly world class now. I mean, what he's come in and done in the first kind of half of the season, and you look at now Declan Rice and freeing up players to be able to do more, and like you just said there, he's not just your traditional six. He can pop up with a goal. He can pop up with that creativity when it's needed. And, I'm amazed how quickly he's adjusted to it all. Superb signing.
Yeah, he's been very well. Arsenal's transfer business has been praised a lot over the last few transfer windows. One of those who came in this summer was Kepa. What did you think of the decision to keep him in goal for this cup?